Hey, and welcome to today's video. Let's talk about my top 10 pitch deck design tips. So I have raised over $5 million myself for my own companies. I have helped build over 100 decks that have raised over 100 million. And I also invested in over 25 startups myself. These are all the lessons that I want to share with you when it comes to the design part of your pitch deck. Let's start. First, keep your design very, very simple. A good pitch deck is always about leaving out as much information as possible, because any potential investor will spend 2 to 3 minutes on your pitch deck. So it's your job to really focus on what's relevant, and that's also the same for the design. So leave out everything unnecessary. Second up, visual hierarchy. So for me as an investor, it's important to cross all the boxes that I have in my head. And that means that I want to understand what the problem is that you are trying to solve, what is your solution, how you make money, and all of these things. And that's also the reason why most pitch decks follow the same structure. And you can help me as an investor understand where we are in the journey of your pitch deck by adding this hierarchy element. So what I would recommend is always using a sub or like a pre-heading here that talks about which slide I am on. Then use an H1 heading here. And this heading is actually like summarizing all the content that I can see on the slide. And third up, then you have the slides content, the details down below. And the best decks I can understand just by reading the headings here. Next up, it's always good to use a grid to align all of your elements. So let's imagine you are designing your pitch deck in Figma. You can easily add these grid elements so that you can really stay consistent across the boxes that you are using, but also where you position different elements on your pitch deck. And that really helps not only for good design, but also the reader to understand the content that's on the slide. Number 4, visualize the data. So for me as a reader, it's really important to grasp the main information quickly. And it helps really to include and visualize all data points. So instead of using a simple table here to show the transactions or the NMV, you can just use charts so I can quickly understand where the business is going. Number 5, use icons to underline your message. Okay, let's take a look at this slide that we designed. You could have designed this slide without the icons on the right side, but it makes it way more appealing visually, and we really want to stand out with our pitch deck designs, but it also helps us to understand what you are talking about. So make sure to use a proper set of icons throughout the deck, and that really brings your deck to the next level. Number 6, when in doubt, use more white space. So the main mistake that I always see in pitch deck is that they are just too full. Too much stuff on the specific slides, and I would rather recommend using more white space as we did on this slide and have less information than overloading your slide. So make sure only the relevant information and give it some room to breathe. Number 7, choose easy to read typography. So obviously you should use the typography that you are also using for all of your brand's assets, but make sure specifically for your pitch deck and presentations that it's easy to read. So most cases that means you need a font that can have like a bold version and a version with a font weight that is a little bit more light. And then it should be very easy to read also from the size that you are using it in on your slide. Next up, high quality images and mockups. So whenever you use images or mockups, please don't use blurry ones. Make sure that the images are high quality. Also your mockups, there shouldn't be anything cropped off your screen or something. So this really shows your ambition, and this is how you work also. And you need to build trust with the investor so that they think, okay, you have very high ambitions and they really want to work with you. Number 9, to stay visually consistent across your deck, it makes sense to create some sort of brand kit or mini design system for it. So in this case, we were using these icons, these colors, these fonts, and these elements across the deck. And if you create your own like template library, it's way easier to also build your deck over time. And then last but not least, use enough contrast. So contrast really helps us to point out specific information. So on the summary slide here, the numbers on the right side were the most important ones. So we wanted to make sure that they stand out. This is why we were using this bright color. And yeah, These were my 10 tips for your pitch deck design. If you liked the video, follow the channel, comment below, and if you need help with your pitch deck design, also check the description below for our services. See you in the next video.